Can you see yourself? Yeah? Again. Achoo. 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 How you doing, Roscoe? Oh! Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's good. All right. Good morning, everyone. So I said today would be Bird Day, and I have with me, right behind my shoulder here, this is Roscoe. He is an African gray, and then right up here, that's Sam, and he's a blue and gold macaw. And here, I'll get her out of this cage. I have and this is a quail. It kind of looks like a dove, doesn't it? Usually they're brown, but this is leucistic, so it's missing some of the melanin that makes it the brown color. Okay, so I'm gonna put that one back. Quails are a small bird, a little game bird, and some people will raise them for meat, but mostly for eggs. And they were found walking around downtown Chicago, and I have a friend who started the Chicago Bird Collision Monitors. And during migration season, she gets up really early in the morning with some volunteers, and they walk around the buildings in Chicago looking for birds that hit the windows, because it's kind of a myth that birds don't fly at night. Birds will fly at night, and a lot of times a big part of their migration is at night, and they will hit some of the buildings, and some will get stunned, some will die, and the ones that have died will go to the Field Museum. And let me go rescue this little bird here. What are you doing, Roscoe? Exploring? There, step up. Step up. Come on. There you go. And we'll come back over here. There you go. That makes for more adventure, doesn't it? What'd you do? Did you go exploring? Yeah. So when the birds are just stunned, they can go to Willowbrook Wildlife in Glen Ellen, Illinois, where they'll be assessed and see if they can be rehabbed and released. Sometimes they find birds that just don't fit that category. So a domestic bird, one that's raised like this, it may have been an escapee or a pet, they sometimes will call me and say, you know, do you want to take this quail? And I do, so I can have them for programs when I'm working with little kids, as far as like when we're doing a class on animal classification, birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fish. I usually don't bring fish into the classroom, but I bring some of the others so that kids can have a better understanding of what it means to be each of those. So today I have the African gray with me, and African grays have some of the best vocalizations, and it's really kind of fun when we're not in the same room with Roscoe. He wants our attention, and he will just go on and on and on. Now, the blue and gold behind me, Sam, you gonna talk? I'm gonna move you over here a little bit more. He will actually throw temper tantrums. If I am in the same room with him and I'm on my phone, he will climb up to the top part of his perch, and he will just throw a royal temper tantrum and scream and scream and scream. Birds are sometimes a very, very long commitment. These two birds right here, both of them can live to be 60, 80 years old. So unfortunately, a lot of these birds are some of the most rehomed animals, and many of them will go through multiple owners throughout their lifetimes. Sometimes I heard one estimate of up to almost 12 owners in a lifetime. Now, you can see that Roscoe here is gray, and that is his true color, and he has red on his tail. That's also his true color. But now if you look at Sam back there, you'll see blues and yellows and greens and blacks, and not all of those are his true colors. So a bird can only be 5 colors. So if you're a kid here, I want you to think about this. If this is all of the colors in the world, and what can a bird be? It's 5. So black, white, now that will include the gray spectrum, okay? So black, white, brown, yellows, and some reds. Those are the only ones that are true colors, and that they are the pigments in the feather itself. So when but you go, but I see blue. There's definitely blue there. I'm seeing it. Well, that is refracted light. It's the nanostructure, and nano means really, really super tiny, and the nanostructure of the feather is working like a prism, and it's bending the light so that you are able to see a certain color. Now, I don't know if it's going to work here, but if I hold the feather up to the light, I don't know if that's working, you can see that the true color of the feather is a dark gray. And you can even see it right here along the edge, right on there, because when the feathers are on the bird and they lay on top of each other, okay, when they lay on top of each other, it changes the nanostructure of the feather underneath of it, and it kind of crushes it so it doesn't have that ability to bend the light and allow you to see a certain color. So you can see right there, can you see that a little bit better there? You can see the true color of Sam's feather. Now the yellow ones on his body are the true color. Those are yellow. Oh, that actually feels good. It's like a fan. So this feather right here, this is from Roscoe's tail feather. Now red is one of those that can be the true color, and this one is, so if you hold it up to the light, there we go, it stays really red. So that is pigment. That's the true color of this. Now, people go, what about a peacock? Here I've got the peacock feather right there. Okay, and if we hold it up to the light, it turns a dark gray. So even all of those beautiful colors that we see on a peacock feather, it's all refracted light. It's really a dark gray feather. Isn't that amazing? Now, we are just coming out of winter, and people will always comment about fat birds. Now, the feathers of the bird are useful in many different ways. So the feathers will work as a raincoat. So they have a little preen gland that's down by the base of their tail, and they'll rub their beak on that, especially ducks. And they can then, it looks like they're eating their feathers, you know, and they kind of pull them through their beak, and that is putting that oil onto their feathers. So when the water hits it, it just beads up and rolls right off. Like, you know, like let the water roll off you like on a duck's back, just rolls right off. Yeah. Oh, that feels so good, Roscoe. So it works like a raincoat, but it also works as a winter coat. So when you have a coat at winter time, it keeps you warm. But how does it do that? You don't take that coat off and plug it into the wall so that it's warm for the next day. But what's making the heat is your body. Your body makes the heat, and your coat traps it close to your body. So a bird's feathers work like a winter coat as well. And if the feathers are all close down to its body like this, that means there's this much space between the cold air and its body. When it fluffs its feathers out and looks fat, what it's doing is it's increasing the space between the cold air and its body, and it works as a really good insulator. And that's how those feathers are keeping it nice and warm as well. Now, I don't know if you, yeah, some people go, oh, the bird just went to the bathroom. Well, birds have a really super high metabolism. That means their body processes everything really super fast. It goes through, it goes out. Because if you have to be able to fly and you need to be as light as possible, you need to kind of dump the waste quite frequently. So a lot of times if you watch the birds outside, birds will either go to the bathroom and then launch, or as they're launching, they're going to go to the bathroom. So you'll see them do that, and it's a way to make themselves lighter. And I think a lot of you know too that the birds that fly have hollow bones to make them, they're not hollow totally like a straw. They do have some structure in it, but it's really super fine and lightweight that makes them really super strong. So that is the birds today. Let me see, who do I have with me today? Hi, Mary Lee. Nope, fat birds aren't pregnant. They just all fluff up and stay nice and warm. Hi, Cindy and Katie. It's good to see everybody. So that was the birds today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I will get back to them as quickly as I can. I think we might have a video or some audio of Roscoe really going through a lot of things. African Greys definitely have the best ability to vocalize, and they can even put sentences together. They can be pretty amazing, and they can be pretty silly and ornery at times too. Roscoe loves my husband, but not me so much. Whereas Sam, he loves me and doesn't like my husband. And sometimes we even sing to Sam when he'll dance. Can you do that? You know, skidamarinky-dinky-ding, skidamarinky-doo. I love you. Skidamarinky-dinky-ding, skidamarinky-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening underneath the moon. Skidamarinky-dinky-ding, skidamarinky-doo. I love you. So sometimes Sam will, almost like romper room, yes it is. But I'm going to bring Sam over a little bit closer. I'm going to scooch you because I just remembered something else pretty cool here. Here, Sam, can you step up? Step up. I'm going to come over here closer. Because Sam is doing something right now. See if you can see that. It's almost like a stick. That stick right there on the tail feather. Sam is molting. Look, Sam, that's you. There you go. There's Sam. Hi, Sam. Can you give me a kiss? Now, birds do not have saliva. They don't have spit. They don't. They don't. And so if Sam kisses me and his tongue touches me, it's dry. It's not bad at all. Yeah. But you can kind of see, I'm going to turn Sam this way. And can you see all these little white things right here? So those are new feathers that are growing and developing, and there's actually a blood supply that will go and help nourish those feathers as they're growing. And then when they're just about done, it almost looks like, like a tape loop. And it can kind of slide off and make it kind of itchy, and so sometimes we give them a nice soak or give them a little scratch here. And I can use my fingernails sometimes to get some of that stuff off, and it feels a little bit better. But yeah, it can be kind of itchy. So yes, but that's what's going on. Isn't he noisy? You're so noisy. Can I have a kiss? There you go. But he is very loud. So if you're ever thinking that you want to get a pet bird, first say no, and then if you still think, oh, maybe, and you do that for about 5 years, and you're doing a lot of research, then maybe consider getting them, because they are definitely a huge commitment, aren't you, Sam? Are you doing wings? Oh, do wings? You're so pretty. Can you see yourself, Sam? So They have pretty big nails here. Let me show you there. There's the feet. And I do have to trim the nails. And how old is Sam? Both Sam and Roscoe are about 25, 26 years old. And like I said, they'll live to be about 60 to 80 years old. So it's definitely a huge, huge commitment. And then you have to like find special vets that will take care of them. But I know when I picked up Roscoe, my husband was right. It needs a nail trim. Oh, thank you. Thanks. So, can you wave to everybody? Wave? Can you wave? Can you do wings? Yeah. So, now remember, tomorrow we're going to read a story, and I think that I might be reading Stand Back, Said the Elephant. I'm going to sneeze, because we know how when we're supposed to sneeze, we're supposed to sneeze into or cough into our elbow and stuff like that. I don't think the elephant did that back then. So we're going to read that story. Yeah? Do you want to read a story? You like stories. I don't know if you can see how his pupils will get small and then big when he gets excited. Yeah? So pretty. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you stay nice and safe and well. Thanks for stopping in today. Bye. Oh, that was a good one.